Hello, students. Let us continue Chapter 7 in Science, Control and Coordination. Today, we are going to discuss the most important topic of this chapter, that is human brain and nervous system. So, students, in last video, we have discussed about reflex action. So, is reflex action the only function of the spinal cord? Do you think so? Obviously not. Since we know that we are thinking beings, spinal cord is made up of nerves which supply information to think about. Thinking involves more complex mechanisms and neural connections. So, these are connected in the brain only, which is the main coordinating center of the body. The brain and the spinal cord constitute the central nervous system. They receive information from all parts of the body and integrate it. We also think about our actions: writing, talking, moving, clapping at the end of a program are examples of voluntary actions which are based on deciding what to do next. So, the brain also has to send messages to muscles. This is the second way in which the nervous system communicates with the muscles. The communication between the central nervous system and the other parts of the body is facilitated by the peripheral nervous system, consisting of cranial nerves arising from the brain and spinal nerves arising from the spinal cord. The brain thus allows us to think and take actions based on that thinking. As you will expect, this is accomplished through a complex design with different parts of the brain responsible for integrating different inputs and outputs. The brain has three such major parts or regions, namely the forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. So, this is the structure of initially the human nervous system, in which the first part, central nervous system, CNS, which contain the important part of the nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord, and peripheral nervous system contains nerves, cranial and spinal. Now, general functions of human nervous system. The very first point, CNS, central nervous system, receives information from external environment and other parts of the body and bring about integration, give message to the brain. Then spinal cord is involved in reflex action, as we have discussed in last video. And brain is the main coordinating center of the body, and brain allows us to think and take actions based on that thinking. Also, peripheral nervous system, PNS, communicates between CNS, central nervous system, and other parts of the body with the help of two special nerves, cranial and spinal. Now, human brain. Human brain has three such major parts or regions, namely forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. So, let us start with forebrain, as according to the figure. Here it consists mainly of cerebrum, which is the main thinking part of the brain. It receives sensory impulses from various receptors. Receptors we have discussed in last video. The forebrain has separate areas specialized for hearing, smell, sight, and so on. There are separate areas of association where sensory information is interrupted by putting it together with information from other receptors as well as with information already stored in the brain. Based on all these, a decision is made about how to respond. It has major areas which control the movement of voluntary muscles. It has a separate center associated with hunger. So, the forebrain is main thinking part of the brain. The region which receives sensory impulses from various receptors. Separate areas of the forebrain are specialized for hearing, smell, sight, and so on. there are separate areas of association where these sensory information is interpreted by putting it together with the information from other receptors as well as with information that is already stored in the brain, like memory. Based on these functions, a decision is made about how to respond, and the information is passed on to the motor areas, which control the movement of voluntary muscles. For example, our leg muscles. Now, however, certain sensations are distinct from seeing or hearing. For example, how do we know that we have eaten enough? So, the sensation of feeling full is because of a center associated with hunger. This is also the one of the part of forebrain. Then next, midbrain. Corpora quadrigemina is a part of midbrain. Centers for visual and auditory reflexes are located here. So then we have seen that the different parts have specific functions. Now the word reflex that we have talked about in the last video, our mouth waters when we see food we like without our meaning to. Our hearts beat without our thinking about it. In fact, we cannot control these actions easily by thinking about them, even if we wanted to. Do we have to think about or remember to breathe or digest food? So, in between the simple reflex actions like change in the size of the pupil and the thought, our actions as such as moving a chair, etc., there is another set of muscle movements over which we do not have any thinking control. Many of these involuntary actions are controlled by midbrain and hindbrain. All these involuntary actions, including blood pressure, salivation, and vomiting, are controlled by the medulla in the hindbrain. So, our last topic is hindbrain. Pons, medulla, and cerebellum are the parts of the hindbrain. Involuntary actions, including blood pressure, salivation, and vomiting, are controlled by medulla only. Even cerebellum is responsible for precision of voluntary actions and maintaining the posture and balance, equilibrium of the body. So, think about activities like walking in a straight line, riding a bicycle, picking up a pencil. These are possible due to the part of the hindbrain called the cerebellum. It is responsible for precision of voluntary actions and maintaining the posture and balance of the body. Imagine what would happen if each of these events failed to take place if we are not thinking about it. So, this is our human brain. Next, how are these tissues protected, or we can say how is central nervous system protected? So, a central nervous system is made up of brain and spinal cord. Brain is a delicate organ and it is an important organ for a variety of activities. Therefore, it needs to be carefully protected. Brain is protected in a bony box called cranium. Inside the bony box, the brain is covered by mannings. Fluid between the mannings protects brain by shock absorption. Also, spinal cord is protected in a hard skeletal structure called vertebral column or skeleton. Next, what are the functions of nervous tissues? How muscle tissue respond to nervous impulses. So, let us first start functions of nervous tissue. It collects information from receptors of sense organs, sends it to brain via spinal cord. Brain processes, or we can say analyzes information, makes decisions based on information and conveys decisions to the effectors such as muscles or glands, etc. The next, muscle tissue respond to nervous impulse. When a nerve impulse reaches the muscle fiber moves. The movement at the cellular level begin. Muscle cells will move by changing their shape so that they shorten. Muscle cells have special proteins that change both their shape and their arrangements in the cell in response to nervous electrical impulses. Thus, muscle tissue brings about movement. So, students, I hope you understood the topic of central nervous system and peripheral nervous system and human brain, including that the working of tissues and protection. Thank you for listening this video.